Abu Bakr,
Yeah, go ahead.
I was saying there wasn't any water, so you can't
I hear you.
say.
close Abu Bakr, we can't hear you.
They were saying there's no water around, so you can't float on the ark.
Yes. Excellent, mashallah. So they were teasing him and saying, what are you doing? Why are you making a boat on dry land? And how are you going to drag this big ship to the water? And they were calling him all sorts of names to upset him even more. But Prophet Nuh alayhi salam, what did he do? He ignored them. And instead, it says in the Quran that Prophet Nuh alayhi salam, he replied back, soon you will know why I have made this ship. So soon you will know. Allah will tell you why and show you why I am making this big ship. So once he finished making the big ship, everyone was teasing him, everyone was making fun of him. I mean, we will learn something about that later on, inshallah. Next slide, Ustad. So when Prophet Nuh alayhi salam, when he made this ship in three parts. So there were three parts of the ship. One part was for the birds, one part was for the humans, and the other part were for all of the animals, like all the wild animals and the rest of the animals that we all know. So there were birds, humans, and the rest of the animals. Next slide, Ustad. So then now when Prophet Nuh alayhi salam, when he finished making the ship, Allah said to Prophet Nuh that when the sign for the flood to come, so the punishment that Allah will send down to the people who ignored Prophet Nuh alayhi salam was a huge flood. Allah will send down a huge flood. And we all know, probably majority of us know, that there were many other people previously or even after Prophet Nuh alayhi salam, like Prophet Hud and Prophet Saleh, when the people ignored them again and again and again, and Allah sent them warnings. When they were ignoring all of the warnings, then Allah sent down a punishment. So Allah is telling Prophet Nuh alayhi salam that because they were ignoring your warnings over again and again and again, tell them that there will be a huge punishment for them. And then Allah said to Prophet Nuh, the sign of this punishment to come will be that from your oven or stove, there will be water gushing out from there. So once the water starts coming out from your stove in your house, that's when you start boarding everyone into the ship. And that's when you know that my punishment will start very soon. So then Prophet Nuh alayhi salam was in his house and his family were in his house one day. And then suddenly the water started gushing out from his oven. And then that's when he realized that the punishment of Allah is coming very soon. Next slide, Ustad.
Ooh.
And suddenly, after that sign that he saw in his house, Allah sent down heavy rain. And this heavy rain started to come down. And then slowly, the water was rising. But when the rain started to come, Prophet Nuh alayhi salam rushed outside and he started to get all the people that believed in him to board the ship. So all the people that believed in Prophet Nuh alayhi salam, they were boarding the ship. And he was calling everyone, hurry, hurry, hurry. Everyone, all the people that believed in me and believed in Allah, come and board the ship. And all those people that believed in Allah, all those people that believed in Prophet Nuh alayhi salam, they started to board the ship. And then the rest of them, the people who didn't believe in Allah and believe in Prophet Nuh alayhi salam, they were just confused. They were thinking, what's going on? And it was too late for them. It was too late for them for Allah to guide them. So they were just confused and they didn't board the ship. And then Allah, Prophet Nuh alayhi salam quickly boarded the animals. He got all the birds. He managed to get all the birds inside the ship. He managed to get all the animals on the ship. Everyone boarded the ship, and everyone was now ready to uh, to now sail off with the ship. Next slide, Ustad. Before that, yeah. So everyone that believed in Prophet Nuh alayhi salam started to board the ship, except for his wife and son. And there were 80 people in the ship, and there was enough food stored in the ship for everyone, including the animals. So Allah planned this really, really well. And Nuh alayhi salam, he followed the plan of Allah very, very carefully. So once everyone was in the ship, he stored all the food, the necessary food, and he stored enough food for everyone, including enough food for the animals. Next slide, Ustad. Uh, so the water started to rise rapidly, and the great flood started to happen. So who has boarded the ship? Everyone except who? His wife and his son. I want to ask a question. Does anyone know how many sons that the Prophet Nuh alayhi salam had? How many sons did Prophet Nuh alayhi salam have? Does anyone know?
We're going to ask Musa, Zaina, and Isa to unmute.
I think it was 4.
Yes, you're right. Yeah, 4. So there are some narrations from different ahadith that he had 2, 3, but the 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 most correct opinion is that he had 4 sons, and one of the sons didn't board the ship. So that means how many of his sons boarded the ship? 3. So from the 4, 1 didn't board, and the 3 boarded the ship. And who else didn't board the ship? His wife. So where did they go? Does anyone know where they went? Allah mentions it in the Quran. They tried to escape somewhere to
Let's
save
ask,
themselves. Does anyone know where
let's
Prophet
ask
Nuh
one.
alayhi salam, his wife and his son, where did they go to save themselves?
Let's ask Hannah. She's got a hand up. Who really wants to answer this?
Did they go on top of one of the mountains?
Yeah, who is that? What's your name? And Muhammad Ayub as well. And I think it was Abu Bakr as well. I don't know who it was, Faris, that mentioned it was the top of the mountain. Yes.
It was Hannah and
Those who
Hannah
said
Baya.
it was, oh, mashallah. Those who said that they went to the top of the mountain, you are correct. So then Prophet Nuh's wife and his son, they went to the top of the mountain and they said to Prophet Nuh that don't worry, we will be okay. We're going to climb to the top of the mountain. So they climbed to the top of the mountain, thinking that they will be safe from the flood. And then suddenly, when Prophet Nuh alayhi salam, he was on the boat and the boat was, sailing on the water, he saw his son and his wife on top of the mountain. And then he started calling them and he said, son, come, come and board the ship. So then his son said to his dad, no, I'm not going to board the ship. I will be safe on top of this mountain. And as soon as he said that, what happened? There was a huge wave. A huge wave came right over them, and then it just washed them away from the mountain. It's so sad. So can you imagine how sad Prophet Nuh alayhi salam is feeling? He just saw his his son, and his wife being just washed away from the mountain by a huge wave, and they were never ever seen to be again. And then Prophet Nuh alayhi salam, he was so sad, but Allah reminded him. Allah said that I will protect all of your family. Okay? So when Allah said to Prophet Nuh alayhi salam, I will protect all of your family, but then his son and his wife, they were not saved. They went to the top of the mountain and they were washed off from the mountain and they drowned in the water. How does that show that Allah protected Prophet Nuh alayhi salam's family? Can anyone answer that question? So if Allah said, I will protect your family to Prophet Noah, but then Prophet Noah's wife and his son, they drowned, which shows that Allah didn't protect his family. So how can we explain this? Does anyone know?
Yasir, unmute.
Protected
I think
the
he
ones
meant
who believed. Well done, Muhammad Ayub. He protected the ones who believed. Anyone else? Does anyone else have a different answer or something else to add on to that?
Yasir, you was going to say, what was you going to say, Yasir?
like he meant like the people that like they believed in Allah and they trusted in Him.
Yes, mashallah, that's a very good answer. You're on the correct
iPhone
you're on the
Jamila.
correct track. You're on the right track.
iPhone Jamila.
The disbelievers all around, all drowned. Yes, mashallah. I think that's enough with the answers.
Yeah.
And everyone gave me fantastic answers. Well done, mashallah. And you're right. When Allah said to Prophet Noah, I will protect all of your family, yeah, which means your family are those who believed in Allah. Those who didn't believe in Allah, they are not your family. Wow, that is such an amazing thing to understand, that if somebody that doesn't believe in Allah and they ignore the signs of Allah, they ignore the guidance of Allah, even knowing, if they know that this is the true religion, right? And they still ignore out of arrogance and out of pride, then they are not your family. This is what Allah said. And when Allah said that I will protect your family, the family, who are they to Prophet Nuh? Is all those people that believed in Allah. Okay. So that's why we say in our salah, in our tashahhud, after tashahhud, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad. So we are not sending salam only to Prophet Muhammad's family, but to all of his ummah that believed in him as well and believed in Allah. So Prophet Nuh's wife and one of his sons didn't board the ship. They climbed the mountain to save themselves from the flood, but Allah washed them away and drowned them. Next slide, Ustad. So the rain slowly stopped and the earth was completely filled with water. And some say, however, this could be incorrect, or some say it is correct. So some say that they sailed for 150 days. So this can be incorrect, but there are some narrations where the scholars say that they sailed for 150 days. So what happened? Now imagine this. I want you to imagine a picture now that only Prophet Nuh alayhi salam and the Muslims and the animals, they survived from the whole planet Earth. All right. So there is a question that some people ask, was the whole world filled with water? Was the whole planet Earth flooded? And the answer to that question is that yes, the whole planet Earth was flooded. And the people who believed in Allah, and including the Prophet Nuh and the animals, they were the only creation of Allah that survived from this flood. And those who disbelieved, they were all drowned from this punishment of Allah. So they sailed for 150 days and the rain stopped And now Prophet Nuh is trying to figure out if there is a dry land for the boat to stop. Next slide, Ustad. So what he did was Prophet Nuh alayhi salam, he sent a bird to search for land. Then the bird came back with a branch of leaves to show that there is land nearby. So then he was so happy to see this, that everyone believed in Allah, they survived, and now Allah is going to save them and take them to a dry land. So all of the plan that Allah made and the promise that Allah made, Allah is showing that He is going to fulfill His promise, and the plan is going to go according to how it was planned. Next slide. Finally, the ship stopped on a land called Mount Judi. Now, some say this is also not so correct, but there are some narration where the boat, where the Prophet Noah's ship is stopped at a land called Mount Judi. And Mount Judi is now known to be in which country? Turkey. So all the animals, the birds, and the believers and Prophet Noah, they came out. And before you go to the next slide, Ustad, not yet, I want to ask everyone, when they came out, what was the first thing that Prophet Noah and the Muslims did? Does anyone know? Someone said sujood, someone said they thanked Allah. These are very good answers, by the way.
Let's see here.
Anyone else want to add anything to that?
What's the Tadawud? What do you want to say? I'm going to ask you, unmute.
Dua, yep. Anything else? Prayed?
Abu Bakr?
I'll give you a clue. It's Ramadan. What do we do in Ramadan?
Fast. They fasted.
Yeah, they fasted. So we're going to find out in the next slide. So let's go to the next slide, Ustad. So the first thing that the Prophet Nuh alayhi salam did, and the believers, was to perform sajda to Allah out of shukr. And what does the word shukr mean? Showing thankfulness to Allah, showing gratitude to Allah. And they fasted for one day out of gratitude. And there are some scholars that say that this is why we fast in Ashura as well. So this is one of the reasons why we fast in Ashura. I want to ask another question. When do we fast in Ashura? What is the fast of which month is the fast of Ashura? Which Islamic month? Does anyone know?
Let's ask Mustafa Dawood.
The fast of Ashura. Which month is it?
Jamila, iPhone Jamila.
So someone said Muharram. Muhammad Ayub said Muharram. Anyone else?
Anybody want to put their hand up? Let's see who's in the chat. In the chat, Muhammad Ayub said Muharram. When in Muharram?
He said in attacks Muharram. Wajiha said Dhul Hijjah. Okay.
Abu Bakr, let's ask. Unmute Abu Bakr. You can ask. Was it
Nasir said Muharram. Hannah said Dhul Hijjah. Okay. Muharram. Safwan said Muharram. Okay, mashallah. So the correct answer is the Ashura fast is in Muharram. Dhul Hijjah, what do we do in Dhul Hijjah? Everyone goes for Hajj in Dhul Hijjah. And yes, there is a fast in Dhul Hijjah as well, which is the fast of Arafah. But this fast that Prophet Nuh and the Muslims did, some of the scholars say that we also fast because of this incident that happened with Prophet Nuh, because Allah saved Prophet Nuh and the Muslims on that day. We fast on Muharram, the day of Ashura. And the other reason why we fast in Ashura is because Allah saved another prophet and the believers. Which prophet was that? Does anyone know? Allah saved another prophet like this. Something to
Anyone
do
else?
with water
Anyone
again.
put their hand up?
Something to do with water again.
Let's ask the only one that Mustafa. Go on, you can unmute.
Musa, Yusuf. Someone said Yusuf, Prophet Yusuf.
Unmute
Yusuf
yourself.
alayhi
Someone said
salam.
Prophet Musa.
Who was it?
Sorry?
Yusuf alayhi salam.
Yusuf alayhi
Yusuf
salam.
alayhi salam, okay.
Anyone else want to
Anyone
try?
else?
Ask Jamila.
Anyone else want to try? Which other Prophet Allah saved? And then we fast on Ashura. Musa
Tajul, you can unmute
alayhi
if you
salam.
want.
Musa alayhi salam. Before, good, mashallah. Okay, so now we're going to continue and with the story. So yes, those who said Muharram, you are correct. The day of Ashura is in Muharram. And those who said Allah saved Prophet Musa, yes, you are correct. So Allah saved Musa and his people, and that is another reason why we fast in Muharram Ashura. Okay, so now you know why we fast in Muharram Ashura. The day of Ashura in Muharram is because Allah saved Prophet Nuh alayhi salam and his people, and also Allah saved Musa alayhi salam and his people by splitting the sea. It's quite amazing how both of them are linked with water. Next slide, Ustad. And we're also created by water as well. So now, before Prophet Nuh alayhi salam passed away, he told his sons, how many sons were remaining? 3. Okay. So he told his sons to believe and worship only one Allah. I got another question for you. Believing in one Allah and to worship only one Allah, there is an Arabic word for it. Does anyone know? What is the Arabic word for believing in one Allah and worshipping only one Allah?
Yasir. Let's ask Yasir.
Ibadah?
Ibadah is when we worship Allah, when we worship Allah, all the type, there are different types of worship that we can do, like dua, fasting, Quran, all of these are ibadah. But I'm looking for one word, right, that means to believe in one Allah and to worship only one Allah.
Zahra.
Shahada, very close.
Shahada.
Ahad, very close. Ahad is one of the names of Allah, which means one Allah. What is the Arabic word that when we believe in Allah, one Allah and worship only one Allah? No
Go
one
on,
managed to get that word?
Zahra. You can
But
unmute.
everyone, there was a lot of answers that are very close. Like Ahad was very close.
Zahra, I can't hear you.
Tawheed?
Tawheed.
Yes.
Who said that?
Zahra. MashaAllah.
Maryam. Maryam said Tawheed. And I want to, whoever said Tawheed, I want their parents to give them a prize today to them.
That was Zahra.
MashaAllah. Tawheed
MashaAllah.
is the word, the correct answer. Yes, Tawheed. Tawheed means, right? Tawheed comes from the Arabic word wahada yuwahidu. So when we believe in one Allah and worship only one Allah, right? This is called Tawheed, and we become muwahid. We become the one who does Tawheed, believe in one Allah and worship one Allah. And that's what Prophet Nuh alayhi salam did. He taught his sons to do Tawheed. All right. And that's what all of the prophets taught his people and their families. Prophet Adam, he taught his children to do Tawheed. Prophet Nuh, Prophet Musa, Prophet Dawood, Prophet Sulaiman, Prophet Isa, Prophet Muhammad, all of the prophets that were sent down by Allah, what was the only message to the people? To do Tawheed. And that's what Prophet Nuh alayhi salam did before he passed away. One day he became very sick and he was on his deathbed. He was about to pass away. And then he got his children next to him and he said, "Oh, my children, do Tawheed. Worship only one Allah and believe in one Allah and tell everybody else to do the same thing." Why? Because if they stop telling everyone to do Tawheed, then all of that effort of Prophet Nuh will go to waste. So then he wanted that Tawheed to continue as long as it can. Next slide, Ustad. What can we learn from the story of Prophet Nuh alayhi salam? I want some answers from the viewers and the listeners. Those who are listening now, can you tell me what lessons can we learn from this story? So I want you to think from the beginning of today's story. The ship was made. Some of his family were saved, and some of his family were not saved. And I want you to think about the flood, and I want you to think about Prophet Nuh alayhi salam telling everyone to worship Allah for almost 1,000 years, probably even more, right? And then he still continued. And then right at the end, he did sajda shukur, he prayed to Allah out of gratitude. I want you to think about all of these things. And then those who disbelieved, they were drowned by the punishment of Allah. What kind of lessons can we learn from all of this? Always believe in Allah, someone said. Mustafa and Dawood. Well done, Mustafa and Dawood.
We've got don't be
Excellent.
ignorant. We've got patience. We've got always believe
Be
in Allah.
patient.
We've
Don't
got
be
some
ignorant. That's a good one.
Let's take some live ones. Abu
Yeah.
Bakr, you can
The
unmute.
believers, the disbelievers don't be saved from hell. And those who believe will enter Jannah. Yes. Good. MashaAllah.
Abu Bakr.
Okay. So we've got enough answers. MashaAllah. Have sabr. Don't be afraid to lose blood over deen. Wow. Yaqub. That's a very good one. Don't be afraid to lose blood over deen. That's a fantastic one. High level thinking right there. MashaAllah. Allahumma barik lahu. Okay, I think we've got enough answers. Shall we move on, Ustad?
Yeah, okay.
Next slide. Yeah, let's stay on this one. Number one lesson I'm gonna give only 4 or 5. All right, there's so many, but I'm just gonna give you 4 or 5. Number one is ignorance will take you away from Jannah. All right. Ignorance will take you away from Jannah. Don't ignore the signs of Allah. Don't ignore the commands of Allah. Whatever Allah has told us to do, ta'abbud. We need to just obey. Sami'na wa ata'na. We just need to listen and obey. We don't say why this and why this and this and that. You can look for the whys, right, to gain more knowledge about it. But to find faults about it, Allah will not guide you, and Allah will not put light upon this as well. All right, He will take you away, He will misguide you. So ignorance will take you away from Jannah. Next one. Number 2, patience and perseverance. And that is those children who go to Al-Noor primary school. Patience and perseverance is one of the navigate characteristics in our Al-Noor primary school. So patience and perseverance is when any difficulty come to you or any hardship come to you, be patient and continue to do good. Don't give up and don't get too upset that makes you feel so down that you don't continue the good. All right. So be patient. Any difficulty, any hardship, like Prophet Nuh alayhi salam, he was telling everyone to worship Allah and to believe in Allah for 1,000 years, probably even more. Did he give up? No. And people were teasing him, making fun of him. But did he give up? No, he continued. All right. Even if it doesn't look right, even if it doesn't sound right, even if it looks silly, right? But Allah told you to do this, then just do it. Let's continue. Next one. Gratefulness. We should always show gratefulness, not only when good things happen. All right. We should show gratefulness even when the bad things happens as well. How can we show gratefulness when bad things happen? We be patient. We show sabr. All right. And we continue to worship Allah and to believe in Allah and to do good deeds without moaning and without complaining. And keep on making dua. Make dua at good times and bad times. Because there is a saying by a Sahabi, he said that there are angels that when they hear your dua, they intercede, they help you in this dua. But they only recognize the voices if they make dua at difficult times and at good times. They recognize these voices. But then, if there is a person who only makes dua when they are in difficulty and they worship Allah when they are in difficulty, the angels don't recognize these voices. They say, oh, we don't recognize that voice. And then they don't help you in this dua. They don't intercede in those duas. Next one. Number 4, let go of something that is distracting you, even if you love it. And that is linking to what somebody said, let go of blood for deen, something like that. And that is exactly what I meant here. Let go of something that is distracting you, even if you love it. So there are children here, right, that can relate to this number 4. Can anyone tell me what can distract you from doing good deeds?
Abu
What
Bakr.
are the things that distracts you?
Gaming.
Sorry?
Gaming.
Gaming.
Gaming, did you say?
That's from doing good deeds.
Phone. Someone said phone, TV. Yeah,
Hannah wants to
that's
talk.
exactly
Hannah?
you. Yeah.
Eating.
Eating. Okay.
Eating.
Oh,
Okay. Eating. Yeah. iPad. Yeah. From
Mikael?
Mustafa. Yeah. iPad. Yeah. Playing football. Okay. Yeah.
Omar?
Lying, backbiting, TV. And we got enough answers, and I want to finish very quickly. And I want to just finalize, I just want to finish by saying that all the answers are correct, mashallah. I want you to think of scenarios where there are many people here trying to memorize the Quran, right? If you are trying to memorize the Quran, that is something that you can learn from Prophet Nuh alayhi salam, is to let go of all the distractions. If you are playing with something, if you are watching TV or iPad, and it's time for Quran, your mom or your dad said, read Quran now, it's time for you to read Quran, it's time for you to get ready for your Quran lesson, it's time for you to learn your sabak, it's time to learn your revision. Don't say 1 minute, mom, 2 minutes, mom, 5 minutes, because that 1 minute, 5 minutes is going to turn into a half hour, is going to turn into 1 hour, and then it's going to waste your time, and then your Quran time is gone. So I know you are loving these games, I know you're loving this TV, but Prophet Nuh, he loved his son and he loved his wife, but he let go of that because it was distracting him from his relationship with him and Allah, and he let go. We need to do the same. We need to let go of the things that we love, but if it is distracting us from learning Quran or praying Salah or doing any kind of good deeds, then we need to learn to just let it go and do what and do the good deeds that we plan to do. So let go, learn your Quran, go and pray Salah, listen to your parents. Okay. And that's it from me. Thank you so much. Jazakumullahu khairan for
Yeah,
your excellent listening to this story. And I hope you really, really enjoyed this story. And I hope you really enjoyed the way I told you the story as well. And I hope you learn a lot of lessons from the story of Prophet Noah.
mashallah.
And I hope these lessons you're going to act upon it. So that's very important. All right. Because Allah said that He has given us amazing stories, not for only for us to just listen to and be amazed. Wow, that was an amazing story. But it's for us to go, when we listen, we go and then we try and copy what they did in the stories. So all the lessons that we learned, we act upon it. All
Yeah,
right. So be patient, or with your parents, don't get angry, don't shout at them, be patient, and also let go of the distractions, okay? And don't ignore the commands of Allah. Don't be ignorant. You know, if your parents tell you to do something, this is a command by Allah to listen to them as well. So if you're ignoring your parents, that means you're ignoring Allah. So that means if you're ignoring Allah, you're doing the same what the people did who ignored Prophet Nuh alayhi salam as well. So don't be like them.
Mm-hmm.
Or what's going to happen? It's going to take you away from Jannah. You're just going far away from Jannah. And then you're going to miss out on all of these rewards in Jannah, the
Yeah,
treasures in Jannah. You're going to miss out on that. The food, the amazing food in Jannah, you're going to miss out on that. And then we're
mashallah.
going to miss you as well. When we go Jannah, we won't find you. We're going to miss you in Jannah. So don't be like that.
Yeah.
Follow
Now
the
we
commands. Okay? Okay, off. And that's it from me.
now we've got
Jazakumullahu
Q&A,
khairan.
Ustad. They're going to ask you some questions. Like I picked up with a few
Yes, go
questions
ahead.
from Musa Zaina, who asked when the leaf showed up. One of them asked, "What leaf was that in the bird's mouth?"
Oh, that's a good question. I'm not sure. It's not mentioned anywhere what kind of leaves. Maybe it is mentioned. Maybe you can find it somewhere and let us know. I'm not sure what kind of leaves, but it was just a leaf that the bird grabbed from a dry land, and then he had it in his beak and brought it to Prophet Nuh alayhi salam. To know what kind of leaves is actually not so important.
Yeah, yeah. And Muhammad Ayub, he says, Ustad, if everyone were Muslims that survived, then how did the disbelievers come back to earth?
Oh, very good question. So what happened after the Prophet Nuh passed away, alayhi salam, his sons did try to tell everyone to carry on worshipping Allah. And there were many people that uh, the worshipping one Allah, Tawheed was continuing. Let me use that word Tawheed. Tawheed did continue up after Prophet Nuh. Tawheed did continue after the sons of Prophet Nuh. But then slowly, Shaitan, he whispered a lot of um, he whispered to some people to do some bad things, and then they started to listen to Shaitan, and then slowly they went back to worshipping the idols. All
Mhm.
right. So basically, the most simplest way is that what they tried to do after that is they wanted to make statues of these very famous people or very pious people so they can remember them. But then when they started to make these statues, they started to worship these statues,
Yeah.
idols. So that
Yes,
it went back to idol worshipping later on out of
yes,
ignorance.
yes, he has a
Again,
question. Yes, do you want to ask?
How many siblings did Nuh alayhi salam have?
can anyone answer that? Because I did mention it. Oh, how many siblings Prophet Noor?
Yeah.
How many siblings did Prophet Nuh alayhi salam? I'm not sure to be honest, but it is mentioned that the scholars they say that Nuh alayhi salam is the descendants from Prophet Adam alayhi salam.
Mm, okay. Hannah,
How many days did Prophet Noah live for?
Very good question. How many years? I think the Ustad that did the previous part one of Prophet Nuh, he did mention that. Can anyone answer that? How many years did he live for? All right, let me quickly answer that so we can finish. 950, I want you to think of 950 years he told everyone to worship Allah, okay? But that doesn't mean he lived for 950 years. He was telling everyone to worship Allah for 950 years, which means he lived more than that. So he could have lived up to 1,000 years or more than that. So let's say 1,000 years or more. So Allah gave him that blessing to live more than 1,000 years.
yeah. Anyone else? Okay. Abu Bakr's got his hand up.
He had 2 ages. He had
Now,
two
he did have
ages.
2 ages. It is mentioned that Prophet Nuh alayhi salam, he was teaching everyone about Islam and about Allah. He was teaching everyone about Allah for 950 years. All right. But that doesn't mean that he lived for 950 years. He lived more than that because he can't be teaching about Allah when he was a baby, couldn't he? So that means he probably started teaching about Allah when he was around 40 or 50 years old. And so 950 plus another 50, that's 1,000 years.
Yeah. Let's go to who else had their hand up? Muhammad had his hand up, but he's lowered it. Let's go to Omar. Omar, do you have something you want to say?
Was he live for 2,000 years?
Sorry?
You want to say it again, Omar?
I think the question was, did he live for 2,000 years?
Yeah.
That is not mentioned anywhere. So we can't say that, yes, maybe he did live up to 2,000 years. But what we can say that maybe he did live up to 1,000 years.
All right. Let's ask who else one is? Muhammad. Muhammad? Unmute Muhammad. Okay, we'll go to Mustafa.
What? Did the animals go in pairs from the ship?
Oh, is that Mustafa?
Yeah.
Mashallah. Assalamu alaikum. Chachu, how are you? All right?
Yeah, I'm alright. How are you?
Alhamdulillah. This is my nephew, by the way. It was very good to see that you have listened to the story and you are asking questions as well. Fantastic, mashallah. And the question is, did they go in pairs, the animals? Yes, they went as pairs. So there were female and a male version of all of the animals that boarded the ship. And when the ship stopped on a dry land, all those animals were released, and then these animals they continued to produce. So the animals were not. That's why the animals, even up until today, they're not extinct.
MashaAllah. Who else? Let's ask Hanan. Hanan, you've had your hand up for a while. Then Muhammad, and then we'll go into the questions.
Was Prophet Nuh the oldest out of all of his siblings?
Oh, that's a very good question. Was Prophet Nuh alayhi salam the eldest from all of his siblings? Maybe he could be, maybe he wasn't. I'm not sure. Maybe
Okay.
you can. I'll look up into it. I'll look into it. If there are, if any of the scholars did mention anything like that about his siblings, I will look into it and I will let everyone know next time, inshallah. Very good question, Hannah.
Muhammad?
Are you Yaqub and Ilyas's sister,
No, that's Hannah.
Hannah?
That's Hannah. The other one
Is
is
that
Hannah. This one is Hanan.
okay. It's a different Hannah. Okay.
Yeah. Muhammad, go on.
What was the children's name?
That's a very good question. It is, I read it in a hadith, but it's a kind of a weak hadith. The names were something like Ham and Saf, something like that. And they did have names, but the names that this hadith mentions is kind of a weak hadith. So, you know, it's not so recommended to follow it. But there are names. Some of the scholars do mention the names of the children of Nuh alayhi salam. But it was like something like Saf and Ham or something like that. I can't really remember the names. I'm so sorry.
No
Yes, I
problem.
read the names quite a while back, a couple of years back, but I can't really remember the names. I will look into it again and I will let you guys know. But yes, there are names and I'll look into it, inshallah.
Tajul and Mikhail in the last two, then we'll go into the quiz, inshallah. Tajul, you can unmute. Yes, Tajul?
How many animals were on the boat? Ship, I
Oh,
mean.
there were plenty of animals. There were no number that was mentioned anywhere of the animals, but most of the animals were boarded on the ship. So the tigers, the lions, the giraffes, and the hippos, you name it, all the animals were on the ship.
The last
And
one,
whether there were dinosaurs there, Allah knows best. I don't think there were any. In case
last
there's a
one,
question, were there dinosaurs? I don't
last
think
one,
there were
Mikhail.
dinosaurs. There were animals on the ship, and there were plenty of animals, and all different types of animals. All the animals that we know, they were on the ship.
Last one, Mikhail. You can unmute, and then
How
we'll go.
large was the ship?
How what? Sorry.
How large was the ship?
How large?
Yeah, like in meters.
There's no, I haven't read anywhere how large it was, as in the height and the width, but you can have an idea of how big the ship was because there were three levels, one level, two, second level, and then three levels, right? And for there were if there were 80 humans on one level and all of the animals on one level and all of the birds on one level, and then there was a roof part of the ship as well, and then it was like a arc shape as well. It was huge. If you can think of it like that, then if you compare it to like let's say the London double-decker buses, probably 20 to 50 of them to that kind of size.
Yeah.
Allah knows best.
There was some stuff about 300 cubits one way and 50 cubits the other. So it's extremely large.
Yeah, extremely large. Yeah.
Okay, let's stop there, and we're gonna go on to one of your favorite parts of the day, the quiz. Okay, so let's open up the poll, and Jazakumullah khairan for all your participation. So now we are on day 2, question 1. Are we all ready? Get yourselves ready. I'm going to launch it right now. What was the reaction of the people when Prophet Nuh called them to the truth? Select 3 answers. SubhanAllah. They covered their ears, they covered themselves with their garments, they magnified themselves in pride, or all of the above. What was the answers? So I want everyone to go in and tell us A, B, C, or D. A, they covered their ears. B, they covered themselves with their garments. C, they magnified themselves in pride. Or D, all the above. We'll give only 63% of you. We'll give 5 more seconds, and then that will be it. Okay, let's end the poll right there. Thinking, oh, a few of you got in the last second. Okay, let's end the poll. Share the results. Ustad. Ustad Nohib?
Bit of a tricky one, isn't it? I
It is a
would
bit of a
say
tricky
all of
one.
the above, isn't it? What was the
Yeah.
reaction? Yeah,
You can imagine.
they were ignored it out of pride. They did cover themselves. I would say they covered their ears. But that is mentioned in the Quran. They covered their ears with their fingers.
Yeah, you can imagine they did a lot more, anything to get away.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to question 2. Ready to launch? Which family member of the Prophet Noah was among the disbelievers? A, his son Shem. B, his wife Rabia and his son Canaan. C, his grandchildren. D, his great-great-great-great-grandchildren. So which family members of the Prophet Noah were amongst the disbelievers? A, his son Shem. B, his wife Rabia and son Canaan. Or C, his grandchildren. D, his great-great-great-great-grandchildren. Ustad did speak about this. The one that says we'll take us to a high mountain. And the Quran mentions actually 2 different places. One is, anyway, I almost gave the answer away, but carry on. All right, we'll stop there. We end the poll. We'll start. 78% went with B, his wife Rabia and his son Canaan.
Yeah, his wife and his son, yeah.
MashaAllah. And the Quran speaks about, MashaAllah, both of them. Where is question? There's question 1, 2, no 3. Okay, we'll go straight to question 4. All right, question 3 is missing. What was the skill of Prophet Noah? A, he was a doctor. B, he was a vet. C, he was a teacher. D, he was a carpenter. What was the skill of Prophet Noah? A, he was a doctor. B, he was a vet. C, he was a teacher. D, he was a carpenter. It's 21 of us. This is actually quite an amazing question. Let's see how you guys are thinking. Okay, we'll end the poll right there. The majority went with Ustad. They were 58% went when he was a carpenter.
Yeah, I would say he was a carpenter.
He
Yeah.
was but also the Prophet Muhammad mentioned that every prophet was also shepherd. So, and then he's also in the ark with lots of animals. So, and of course he's dawah. So, mashallah, we can say he's a teacher, and he can be all the above due to prophethood. And then is it the last question? The last question is, the Ark of Noah landed on Mecca, A,
No.
B, Medina, C, Mount Judai, or D, Al-Noor School. So far, we've got 100% in one area. The Ark of Noah, where did it land? A, Mecca, B, Medina, C, Mount Judai, or D, Al-Noor School, Al-Noor Primary School. Let's end it right there. It seems like everyone's answered really quickly. And of course, alhamdulillah, 88% went with Mount Judai. Of course, there's always someone that will go with something different, like Al-Noor. It didn't exist right back then. And of course, Mecca. Maybe someone got confused, but the answer was C, Mount Judai. Jazakumullah khairan. Is there anything you want to say, Ustad, before we leave?
No, I just wanted to say I'm just reading that hadith about the names of the children of Noah. It was so if you want to listen to the names, it's Ham, Wasam, and Yafuth. So Ham, Sam, Yafuth. And the fourth child of Prophet Nuh alayhi salam is mentioned to be like Cush or something. So some people say he had three, some people say he had four. So yeah, these are the names. Ham and what was it? Ham, Sam, and Yafuth and Cush.
I
But
just saw.
it's not important to know these kind of things. What's important is to know anything that will take us more closer to Allah. Any
Yeah,
knowledge that takes us closer to Allah, those are the knowledge that we should try and seek more.
I've seen question. I've seen question day 2, question 3. It was just at the bottom somewhere. Last question for the sake of it. What food is recommended for breaking our fast? Come on, guys. Is it samosas, B, fried chicken, C, Coca-Cola, which we're not having, or D, dates? Come on, everyone. Okay, I'm going to end the poll right there. And Bismillah, let's share results. 96% of us went with dates. Yes, dates is obviously the way that we should and try our best to break our fast. So Moses fried chicken, I know we have these a lot, and we want to definitely avoid Coke. It's nice and it's lovely food that we're used to growing up, but dates, I would say, is the most appropriate. Isn't that correct to start?
Yes, of course, yeah.
All right, let's stop
Bismillah.
sharing. And now, your most probably best part of the day is we're all, inshallah, going to come off mute. Let me just enable everyone to come off mute. And we're all going to say Assalamu alaikum to everyone. So,
now.
session.
Assalamu alaikum.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله.
Assalamu alaikum, Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum, Yasser.
I'll show you do it.
There we are.
Log off now.
Muhammad.
Everyone log off.
Assalamu alaikum.
Okay.
There we go. Everyone log off now. Jazakumullah khairan. Until next time.
There's someone.
There you go. Hanan, mashallah. Jazakallah khair. And your little sister, mashallah. Assalamu alaikum. There we go. Let's start. There we go.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum